you never actually have to pick it up. Now that's service. Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Located on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, Ocala. Look for the yellow signs.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala!
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. How many of you know that there's a post office over at the college across the street? When I discovered it, I was like, wow, how come I never knew this was here? So I was over at the post office one day, and who did I run into? I ran into Mike Fallon. I said, hey, how you doing, Mike? I saw you were heading to Colombia on Facebook, and then it turns out he wasn't just in Colombia. He was like in Europe, and you were all over the world.
Yeah, the last month it's been pretty hectic.
All over the world.
Yeah.
And so now you're back because, well, this is what you do. You're with the school and with the college, and you are, again, part of another panel here at WOCA. So we will have our guests introduce themselves to you. The Higher Education Happenings, it's a roundtable format. And Mike Fallon is, of course, our go-to guy to get it all started. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a great summer.
Is it as exciting for the staff as it is for the students when school's getting ready to crank up again?
I think exciting is a good word to use. Stressful, hectic, those are other good words to use. But no, it's a great time. This is the perfect time to make sure that you're getting situated to start. We've got 3 weeks for most of us. It's go time. It's buckle down and get ready to go back to school. Have your last fun weekend or two, and then.
When do you guys start again across the street?
We start at Webster University. We start on August 17th, and I'm not sure at CF same day. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the big day.
I think that might be a day across the board then.
The
24th, okay.
University's not closed, the 24th.
Crystal, is your mic on over there? I think you have to use that distant one. Yeah. I don't think it moves, but I'll crank it up. But anyway, so everybody, if you wouldn't mind, Mike, you introduce our guest.
Well, my name is Mike Fallon, and I'm with Webster University here at our Ocala campus.
I'm Greg Sanko. I'm with St. Leo University here in Ocala.
I met you before, Greg, right?
Yes.
I sure did.
Terry Littleberry, Director of Admissions and Records at College of Central Florida.
Terry, have I met you?
We have not met.
Not met. Well, nice to meet you, Terry.
Likewise.
And you're across the street, huh?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I'm over there with Terry. I'm Lakeisha Murphy, the Admissions and School Relations Specialist at the College of Central Florida.
All right, and I know Crystal. Crystal, who are you with?
Flynn. I am the Campus Coordinator and Academic Advisor for the University of Central Florida's Ocala Regional Campus, and we're located in the University Center over at CF.
All right, and do we introduce the lady in the corner? No, we don't.
So we're thinking, we need to talk about a few things that you need to know. They cover these things in orientations a lot of times, but you get a lot of information all at once. So we thought we'd start off with CF because they're typically the first place in Ocala that you'd start with higher education, whether it be through dual enrollment or fresh out of high school, and talk about some things that you really need to know and keep in mind when you're going back to school.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. At the College of Central Florida, I think one of the most important things that we like for the community to know is that, first of all, our application deadline, if you haven't applied and you want to attend college, then you need to apply, and you need to do that by August 4th. That's our application deadline for fall 2015. But also, if you are coming to school and you are intending to start classes, you want to complete your financial aid, make sure you've done that or figured out a plan for paying for your courses and your books. It is not cheap, it's not super expensive, but it's definitely not something that you can just do off the top of your head. You have to plan for it and budget for that. So you want to make sure that you apply for financial aid, and so that you'll be able to charge your courses and your books to that financial aid instead of having to come out of pocket to do that. Also, when we think about the beginning of the school year, coming back to school, one of the main things that any student would want to do is prioritize. make sure that you make school a priority, not, let it be something that you do on the side.
Yeah.
Because it counts. It counts. The grades that you earn count towards not only your transcript, but they count as to whether or not you'll be able to continue using financial aid. Your grades have a significant impact on what you do.
It's your key to the future.
Absolutely. So just to, we'll start the conversation there, but that's the first thing. Those are the first things you want to do, is make sure that you make school a priority, that you plan. There's still time.
Right.
So you don't have to feel rushed. We just have to make sure that you're moving along steadily to get everything taken care of for the first day of classes.
I may have brought this up once before, but when you are brand new to it and you are exposed to different words like Pell Grants and things like that, and you know the words, I don't even know the words, but it's just like when new words enter your brain, it's like, oh gosh, I'm confused, but I don't even know what these words mean. And so I'm guessing, without asking you to be a glossary right now, I mean, is that like an easy fix for somebody who's sitting across the desk from you and you're telling about financial aid and you're rattling off grant names and loan names and things like that?
It is an easy fix, because you just have to stop and say, I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. It'll make sure that the person, we can as professionals get caught up in, because we speak this language every day.
Yeah.
But just stop the person that you're talking to and ask the question. And it's okay. You're in an environment where it is safe to ask questions. And so that's the most important part, is to ask the question. If you don't understand something, say that and give the person who's trying to service you an opportunity to explain what they mean in a way that you as the student will understand.
Does your credit rating play a role at all? Your credit rating?
Credit rating does not play a role in when you're filing for financial aid through the federal government. It does not play a role. But if you're using a private company or a bank to apply for a student loan, then yes, it will play a role.
And how many years can you be out of high school, and like if there's a large gap, how do you establish grades when it's been 5 years or whatever? I mean, how long would you?
There is no limit to when you can begin school. There's never a limit as to when you can begin school. If you've never been to college before, then there's not a time limit. Your high school credits never run out. You earn that high school diploma, then it's still a high school diploma 30 years later. So
you're going to probably have to take a test or two, an entrance exam, and kind of figure out how to place you.
Oh, really?
But
right. Students take the placement test, but really, it's really just to determine where you need to start in your classes. We know that if you've been out of school 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you haven't necessarily retained all of that information that you learned in high school. So it's okay to do a few remedial courses just to help you get back on track and to familiarize yourself again with the type of learning, academic learning, that takes place in a college or school setting. So yes, you'll have to do that, but it's not anything that someone should stress out about. There's no pass or fail. It's just simply to help determine the best place for you to start so you can get off to a good start.
And I think we all have services available at our individual locations that are designed specifically to support students, no matter their age demographic. And we can all share stories of students that we have that we're currently working with that are not a traditional age student, meaning coming right out of high school going into college.
Right.
I have a student that I'm assisting that is a grandmother, and she's decided that this is her time, and she's always wanted a degree, and she's pursuing that.
Isn't that great?
And I have folks who are kind of on the traditional track. So at every location, we all have dedicated staff members who are there specifically to support students, whether it's financial aid questions like things related to the Pell Grant or all the different financial aid terms. In this industry, we tend to be very acronym happy. So that's a great point that Terry made.
Yes,
is just they just need to stop, and some of us, even when we work there, we have to ask each other, what does that mean again?
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
They really do. All they need to do is just ask us, and we're all absolutely thrilled to help any way we can.
Well, can I ask about student life for a second, especially when you have campuses like St. Leo, where there's a university down the road, but you have classes here, and same thing with the university that you represent.
Right.
Do you have student life events like at the home campus?
We do. We have a small selection of events. First off, I have to share that all of our students, no matter what regional campus they're attending, have complete access to all activities on main campus. There's no difference for us. Once you're a UCF student, you are a UCF student. But we have a division called Regional Outreach Services, and they work kind of like student activities and student life at the community college level, and they bring all of those, or state college, pardon me, they bring all of those activities within reason to our local student populations. So we do activities. This past semester we had a couple of field trip activities, we had some tie-dyeing events, we had some diversity events, all kinds of things like that. They organize, in the past they've organized bus trips down to the football games. We try to bring as much as we can, but we also provide additional services that students would have access to on main campus, like free printing, we have coffee, that kind of stuff.
Let me take a little break and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, more clouds and sun along with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm or two, the high 86 to 90. Partly cloudy tonight with a shower and thunderstorm around, mainly early, low 73 to 77. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness with a couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms. Watch for flash flooding. Tomorrow's high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Can't do anything about crime in our community? Wrong. You can call Crime Stoppers with any information about any crime or any wanted person anytime. You may get a reward up to $1,000. We guarantee you will remain anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers tip line 368-7867 to pass along any information, no matter how seemingly unimportant. We don't want your name, just the information. Call 368-STOP.
All right, 15 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Earlier, Terry, you were talking about the, it came up, the obvious came up that you have to take it seriously, make it a priority, because this is ultimately what's going to make your life better. And the life of everybody in your family. If you're a breadwinner, you're obviously going to be a better breadwinner, right? Yes. So with that said, do you, and maybe Greg, you can answer this one, as far as establishing a career path, is it in stone? I mean, if somebody's entering for the first time, and maybe they've got that gap that we were talking about with Crystal, maybe they haven't, it's not straight from high school into college. Do you sit with them to try to figure out what is the best path?
Absolutely. That's one of our requirements is mandatory advising, where we have the student sit down with one of our academic advisors to get a feel for what the student's looking for in their future as far as a career path, and if they have decided on that, what are the steps as far as the classes to take in that career path. So everything is gone over with them in detail. It's a pretty intimate one-on-one, so there's no questions left unanswered or anything like that. It's not a group setting or anything of that nature. So everything is pretty much spelled out, and we want to make it as clear as possible for the students so they're not worried. There's no fog, so to speak, as far as their future.
Yeah. And when I was talking about the post office, I was over there and mailing things, and I noticed there's a lot of guys in uniform. So we must have something across the street teaching what? Police officers?
Criminal justice.
Criminal justice, is that what that is?
College of Central Florida offers a law enforcement program or criminal justice public safety, and we have various majors within that area that students can go into. So we offer correctional officers program, law enforcement, a few other things as well for certification and training. So yes, that is why you saw, and they're located right behind the post office. So that is why you saw so many young men and women in uniform. So
I was talking about the gap between the high school. What about the kids who are doing so well that they actually enroll in college before they're done with high school?
Dual enrollment.
Dual enrollment. That's what it's called. Dual enrollment. Is that common? Do you have a lot of that?
We have close to 900 students in our dual enrollment program.
900, really?
For our 3 county service districts. So College of Central Florida services not only Marion County, but Citrus and Levy County as well. And between the 3 counties, we have about 900 students who enroll in dual enrollment.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Wow. And would they have to be doing really well, or is there another rule I don't know about?
There's not necessarily another rule. They too have to take a college placement exam. So whether it's SAT or ACT, or what we call the PERT, which is the post readiness education test that they have to take, they also have to have a 3.0 in high school, so a B average in their high school classes. And with that, based on guidance counselor recommendation, they can apply for the dual enrollment program and take college level courses while they're still in high school. So the purpose of dual enrollment allows that the student will receive dual credit. So they're getting credit for a course in high school. So if they take an English Comp 1 course at the College of Central Florida, then they're getting credit for English 3 in high school, or English Comp 2, they're getting credit for English 4 in high school. So they're meeting high school graduation requirements as well as earning college credit.
And if later on they were to transfer to university, like University of Central Florida,
Right.
those credits that they earned as dual enrollment, in very large part, there's very few exceptions, also count for us as well.
Correct.
So, and it's a great cost saver to do dual
Yes.
enrollment. That's the number one thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
It boils down to planning. It's really, I mean, in your sophomore year of high school, you really need to sit down and say, what is my path? Where do I want to go? And dual enrollment's a great option for so many students because most of the courses they take through CF are gen ed courses.
Correct. They are pursuing either an Associate of Science degree or an Associate of Arts degree or entering one of our vocational programs. I just add that the state of Florida recently changed the statutes concerning dual enrollment. So now any student in 6th through 12th grade is eligible for dual enrollment. Yes. So, and you would be surprised how many young students we have this year that are applying for dual enrollment.
Wow, so you got a grandma and some kids all in the same class. Grandma and the grandchild in the same class. Could be.
It is definitely possible we could have 3 to 4 generations in a classroom.
Wow. So would I feel out of place if I signed up?
Absolutely not.
No, I wouldn't feel like the old guy walking down the
Absolutely
It'd be
not.
really cool, actually.
Lakeisha, I haven't heard from you yet. Let's talk to you. Are you excited about the school year starting?
I am. Being in admissions, I mean, we get all of the questions. And
So you're the first person we see.
Oh my goodness, and we will direct you. If we don't have the answer, we will find someone that does.
So the kids who are doing dual enrollment, they're going to both campuses? They're high school and they're in the college?
At the same time, and earning credits, like Terry said, at the college that will apply.
So when they
in
get
the
their high school diploma, they're already 1 year into a college, or sometimes more than that.
Sometimes more. Some graduate at the same time with that associate's
way.
or
Absolutely.
certificate with the diploma.
I have a few students who finished high school. There was a small time frame, and then they're already starting with us or another major university. Absolutely.
Wow.
And it's important to note that for dual enrollment, it is not limited to just public high school students. We service private high school students and homeschool students as well.
That is good. You know what? We have the privilege of seeing the best of the best because we do a radio show. So usually, and so anybody who ever has criticized, homeschooling or any of the schooling, we always say, you know what? We've seen the cream of the crop, and they're all good.
Yes.
If the teachers are good, then the students are good.
Correct.
Usually,
Absolutely.
So, do you ever help with homeschooling? Do the colleges ever like if I was going to homeschool, I'm sure there'd be some subjects I would be miserable at, and therefore my son would have been miserable at. Thank God he went to public school, but I mean, could I have gone to you guys if I chose that?
I would say that you could have come in for some advising. We service our dual enrollment students the same way we service a student who's just coming to CF post high school graduation. So they are eligible to come in and meet with an advisor and talk with any of our advisors at any time. In terms of actually teaching courses for the purpose of homeschool, I would say probably not. We're not doing that. But anytime a student again applies and enters the dual enrollment program, then again they're getting dual credit.
Are the graduate programs also on the same, like right now, are they applying for them as well? Or
Well, not dual enrollment students. We usually will get them after they finish at CF with a
Can you imagine
bachelor's. But we do have, we have graduate students that are in their very early 20s that have, they've finished a year or two in high school through dual enrollment. They went to St. Leo University or University of Central Florida or another school, and they're ready to do their graduate degree, which is quite amazing because they're very young. But, for certain tracks, like if they're going to become a mental health counselor, they're going to get internship experience during that track, and by the time they finish, they'd have a license. And it'd be quite amazing, but they'd be young, and but it's a cost savings, it's a time savings, and many people have more than one career within their life, so.
Do you know when the folks from Career Source come in here, it's amazing what jobs are in Ocala right now, which is a good thing. It means you can get the college education. I think we've talked about this before, and stay here. It wasn't always that way, but it is that way now.
And that's a really great resource. The Patriot Job Connection on the campus of the College of Central Florida services all of our school students.
Oh, really?
And they work with those students with job placement, and especially those with some type of formal higher education. So that they're a great resource in the community.
Right, and let me just add that to piggyback that we have on our main website, so at www.cf.edu, on the very front page, if you scroll to the bottom, you will see a little a link for what we call Career Coach, which is an opportunity for someone who may not be sure about what career path, or maybe they're changing careers and aren't sure exactly what avenue to take. They can click on that link for Career Coach, and it's a short assessment that they can complete, and then it will give they will get some feedback about what kinds of careers they are really interested in based on how they answered the assessment. So that's another opportunity for people to help determine, have a tool to use to help determine what career path they might be interested in. And in the Career Coach program, it also gives information about jobs in this area or jobs within a 20 or 30 mile radius that they may be interested in based on the results of their assessment. It talks about the growth, projected retirement in that particular field, the amount of money that they can make. So good information to help them. And also there's a resume builder component in Career Coach as well. So that's an opportunity for someone who may be unsure.
And while we're on the subject of the resources in that, like what she was saying with Career Coach, that's a great tool to use. St. Leo offers other tools as well that build up to that point, where before you're about to graduate, obviously you've got your schoolwork and everything that has to come before then. There's something we have called Grammarly at EDU, where it's an online proofreading and grammar coaching tool. And then there's another item we have called Smart Thinking, which is a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week online tutoring session. So
with a human being or a computer?
Yes, yeah, it is live. So
somebody's awake at 2 a.m.?
Somebody's awake at 2 a.m. somewhere.
Has technology changed the cost of textbooks? Can I now get a textbook on my Kindle, and would it be cheaper?
Some courses have offerings of electronic texts.
Yes,
absolutely.
Do you like it? Do you not like that? Does it not matter?
Positive feedback. They're used very selectively for certain courses. It really depends on what kind of course. A lot of times, if the instructor of the course has written a text, oftentimes that will be offered electronically because it's a more affordable way of publishing.
Okay.
More traditional texts generally aren't offered that way, especially if they're multiple pages. They tend to still be paper bound. But the great thing now is all of our, I know the college as well as UCF, we offer used books. We also offer renting of textbooks now, which is a little different opportunity. So, if you're planning ahead, that's the big thing here. Plan ahead, plan ahead, plan ahead. After you've figured out how you're going to do your financing, you're working with the different resources with career coaching, figuring that out. Once you identify what that actual degree is you want to pursue, you need to remember that you need to be going that next step. So if you're going to finish at CF and pursue a degree at a university, you need to be making sure you're checking in with that university, talking to those advisors about what you need to have by the time you get there, so you've planned your path. The finance is all the way there. If the next stop after that is a graduate program, wherever that may be, make sure you make an appointment to go see one of the advisors at like Webster to make sure you've got all those ducks in a row. What we see time and time again is students come see us at the point where they're graduating in a month and they're ready to go, and we want to cheer them on and support them, but they've missed a really critical hurdle. It could be financing. It could be they spent a lot of time taking classes they didn't need, or they don't have the classes they need that are appropriate, or they're perfectly on track. But it's better to be safe than sorry. So we really just want to make sure that students, when they're entering the college arena, no matter what level that is, that they utilize all the resources, and we have a variety of resources both in the University Center and in the Student Union at CF.
Can you give us one go-to place that might apply, or is there no one go-to place? Somebody listening right now, they just don't even know where to start. Where would you recommend they go?
If they're coming to College of Central Florida directly, then they need to start at the Bryant Student Union Building in Enrollment Services. If they are in Citrus or Levy County, they just need to visit our Lecanto campus and visit the Enrollment Services Center in Citrus County. Same thing in Chiefland at our Levy location. Just walk into the building, walk in through the front door, and we will take you from there and get you started.
And they can assess to see what you're looking for. So if they're already a graduate of a 2-year degree program and they want to continue with the 4-year degree, or if they have a 4-year degree,
Correct.
Those staff members can direct them throughout the university campus, or the college campus, I should say, to the university center, to where other schools are located. So it's like one
Does that
stop.
include University of Central Florida and
all of us have
Webster
representation.
and St. Leo?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's they all are represented at the College
So
of
that's the
Central
best
Florida.
go-to place. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all being here. Good to see you again and meet the ones I haven't met before. And
Likewise.
pretty lady in the corner.
Thank you
Mike,
so much.
good to see you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for
we'll keep
coming
in
in.
touch
I want to
for
hear about your travels.
I know, we need to do a whole show one
He
time.
needs to take us. We need to get a global perspective on education.
And Robin told me there was a lady at your door looking for cookies or something.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that that's a whole nother
You were
show.
in your underoos or something? We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Unconfirmed reports say Taliban leader Mullah Omar is dead, a victim of tuberculosis at least 2 years ago. An Afghan official says they're investigating.
As soon as we get any more accurate information or authentication of those reports, we're going to let the media and the people of Afghanistan know about it.
Omar's son reportedly leaked the information. Secretary of State John Kerry goes before a Senate panel for another day of tough questions over the Iran nuclear deal. Yesterday, he was in the House.
At times, Secretary Kerry grew visibly frustrated with lawmakers.
We hear, well, this agreement doesn't do this, doesn't stop their terror. This agreement's going to give them some money.
Congress is in the middle of a 60-day review